We are on air. So good morning and happy Saturday to all of you for our Trading Week Ahead broadcast, coming at you live from the great green state of Colorado, here in Colorado Springs, great military town. Great to see so many of you here today. We're going to focus on the cannabis sector today, and just that, because that's at least what I'm trading. I'm trading both. My two top picks are the cannabis sector and the inverses. If the market crashes and burns, which it may well do. Keep an eye on Tesla, by the way, if it gets under 800 for potential short. As always, all information is for educational use only, not making advice about to buy, sell, or hold, yada, yada, yada. Consult with a registered investment advisor, which I'm not, before making any actual trades. All right, let's go ahead and get underway and blaze forward in today's markets. So, how many of you agree with me that the market may be due for a pullback or a correction anytime now, right? We've had a couple of red days. It's been a red week. If you take a look at the S&P, you can see we're pulling back off the 3,800. Key support level is the first one that's just maybe a bear trap is 3,700. The one that most Wall Street analysts use right now is 3,550, which is the 100 simple moving average. So if we get under 3,550, that's a very strong sell signal for all of Wall Street. If we start to take out new lows next week and under 3,700, that may well be the sign of more selling to come. So keep an eye on that. We can obviously use something like 38. I'd use 3860 on that as a resistance level. So we've had a red week, but we have green in spite of that. So let's take a look at some of the green instruments. Anyone else trading Canopy? That's widely considered to be kind of like the blue chip of the cannabis industry. And you can see Canopy growth is skyrocketed. It's doubled in value from roughly 14 to 20, 20-ish for the longest time last year. Now it's up to 34, which is a huge increase. And it's above all three of these yellow, blue, and red moving average lines. So Canopy growth blazing to new highs on the 1-year chart. Now, the two that I think have posed the best trading opportunity that I've been making money with are TLRY. What's exciting about this is not this chart. Remember, I told you guys, I told you last week this would be a buy, right? And boom, anybody take my call over 12? It almost doubled up to 22. I've been trading it successfully, profitably this past week. I love me some TLRY, but I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit it hard at new highs. And the reason for that is, if you take a look at the 2-year chart, or further, there's lots of upside. This is a high volume pivot signal where you've got exceptionally high volume. Volume is illustrated by the large green bar at the bottom there, and you can see, 250 million shares traded recently, and a large green candle. For those of you who've been my followers for years and years, thank you for your patience. But take a look at this. One of my favorite patterns is we have a small green bar, a small green candle, followed by a large green candle. I've been teaching that for years. You may have seen my articles in Stocks and Commodities magazine. Thanks to all of you who voted me #1 author in the world a couple years back. I appreciate it. Anyway, small followed by large green candles like you see right there, accompanied by an increase in volume is critically important. And a break over the moving average line is icing on the cake. I've easily forecast at least a double or triple in TLRY, easily going to get to 50. Now, not without some pullbacks. How many of you have struggled with pullbacks as swing traders? I know I do all the time. I always sell too soon. I thought I was smart to sell this thing at 15.20, which I did. I made a profit. It was what, the day before yesterday or Wednesday. I sold 50. It ran up, pulled back. I sold 15.20. Thought, hey, that was great. I made a lot of money. And then it runs up to 20 without me, right? So pullback's a real challenge. And I teach how to cover those to the best of my ability in the live trading room. My live room at trademastery.com and chat. So we cover both swing and day trades for these instruments. My traders were thrilled with my calls because it worked out so well. Anyway, TLRY is one good pivot play to look from new longs, and specific long triggers I'll provide in chat for all of your chat members. TLRY is one, and Aurora Cannabis the other one. Now, if this guy bounces, does everybody see why I'm excited about ACB? Things that, by the way, this is a industry that is likely to undergo a lot of consolidation with M&A work, right? Mergers and acquisitions across the board. So this particular instrument is, I don't know that they're going to get a buyout offer, but if they do, it'll be much higher than where it's currently trading. And if they don't get bought out, it still has plenty of room to the upside. One of my favorite strategies that I teach in my Trade Mastery chat room is mean reversion swing trades. That's where something goes down, it starts to pivot on high volume for at least 3 days in a row. 3 days is, for some reason, it's kind of a Wall Street trend, micro trend analysis. You may have heard the brilliant Jim Cramer, booyah, talk about 3 days in a row for different decision-making things. And he's great. I like Jim. Jimbo's a good character, and he keeps investing and trading accessible to the masses. But the point is, I'm looking to see if this guy gets at least 3 green days in a row, so to speak, over 15. Oftentimes they bounce as far as half of the range, a mean reversion pivot. So that'd be the yellow line near 50. So my exit target, I think I'm going to make a lot of money trading this between 15 and 50. Honestly, just watch. I called this for you guys the last 2 or 3 months here, and I told it to start to light up. So anyway, ACB is a really good pivot play, potentially coming up along with TLRY. And of course, in my chat room, we cover the ins and outs of both intraday and swing trading charts for these. TLRY is better because it has more buyers lately. Always give preference to charts that have big green candles, large, exceptionally green candles. We have a small followed by a larger whole green candle. And of course, I always look for volume as a confirmation. Now, if you want to buy strength, the 2 plays are Canopy and growth generation. Canopy's been pivoting, and GRWG, kind of the equipment supplier to the industry, boom. Anyone else trading GRWG? I've been trading it. I'll be buying it more. I called it long back, I think it was in the high 20s, like 27 or so, I think, in chat. Anyway, it over doubled from that. It's up to 50. So this is the kind of exuberant chart that may keep running high. Now, so to speak, it'll probably do a pullback at some point. So for any of these momentum runners, or if you're trading things like Plug or Tesla or whatnot, by the way, I think Tesla's a massive short under 800. Remember I said that. 794, not a trade recommendation, but if Tesla gets under 800, watch out below, and it'll drag the whole S&P kicking and screaming down with it. So Tesla's way the heck overbought, but this is a cannabis presentation, so I'm not going to talk about Tesla. But anyway, unlike Tesla, growth generation has been continuously running up and still blazing green to new highs. So we've got really good breakout potential in growth generation. Wow, all these comments. Yeah, AFA is good too. Thanks, Ron. AFA, boom, popped with earnings, he tells me. Indeed it did. Schwang, these instruments, I'm not long all of these, but I'm long TLRY, MJ, InBev, Hexo, Kronos, Canopy Growth, AFA, and ACB are my favorites. And I'm in and out of those continuously, right? Anyway, you're right though, that's a great chart in AFA. Really good breakout continuation pattern. Let's drop down to a tighter time interval so we can get a bird's eye view now. Let's bring this home. Now, I don't know about you, but I like doubling my money, right? So this guy had resistance right near 8.5 and it spiked all the way up to 13. But still, TLRY is my favorite of the bunch. I still think there is much more upside in TLRY. Now, it did a pullback recently. If it breaks back over a new high over 23, maybe a good play as well. So that's some of these swing trading charts to look at. Let's blaze through these. How many of you have, I trade wide. It's like I said in one of my Money Show interview appearances years ago, I trade wide, not deep. So I'll throw a lot of darts and I build a portfolio of anywhere from 5 to 10 of these guys, and I cycle in and out of them depending on who's the strongest. How many of you share my, and it's not so much a frustration, but a challenging thing is to know which ones to trade first or which ones to trade with more share size than others. Anybody else have that challenge? I do all the time. It's a constant challenge because some are going to be better than others. Some are going to lead the pack higher, faster, while others may pull back or go sideways or do a pullback sooner than others. So my solution is to trade all the ones that look good, and then start off with small starter positions, and then scale into the ones that are continuously running up, like this guy, right? Let's take a look at the recent price action. We're going to zoom into closer charts in a minute. So with that in mind, let's do a quick relative strength scan through these. Sundial Growers is kind of a penny stock that has lots of upside. I've been in and out of this a few hundred shares. I'm going to build positions of well over 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 or 3,000 shares if this guy breaks over the one. But Sundial Growers, SNDL, for those of you who trade cheap instruments, this is the one to look at, SNDL. The other one is a beverage company called InBev. It's been under 3 forever, but if it breaks at 3.5, it may be good. But it's not nearly as good as the ones I'm about to share with you. The MJ ETF is one way to diversify because they trade multiple instruments, kind of like this approach. It's their own ETF where they decide themselves which of these instruments and others to trade. But the MJ ETF looks good at new highs. Hexo's and also a favorite of mine. It's a cheapie, but it's doubled. And I don't know about you guys, but I like it when things double because often they're good for even more after a pullback. So if Hexo breaks the 8, I'm going to scale in over 820. So HEXO. You can see, and again, this pattern, always notice this pattern where you got a small candle, a small green box, followed by a larger green box of at least twice the height, especially when it's accompanied by an increase in volume, as you can see at the bottom of the chart there. So small followed by large green candles. And I teach how to trade these things. I don't expect you guys to, so much going on in our lives, it's hard to keep track of everything. So I do that for you in the live chat room. I keep track of things. I give you specific, at least I tell you how I'm trading and where I'm entering and how I'm trailing stops and the rest of it for swing and day trade. So I'm really keen on the, seriously, I honestly believe this is the #1 opportunity this year is hot stocks at new highs of any sector in the world. I think the whole stock market's overdue for a large correction coming up soon, and for that reason, I trade the inverses like UVXY and SQQQs. We'll cover those next week if the market crashes and burns next week. But for relative strength plays, there's no finer sector. Well, you have electric vehicles and solars. Those have been good, but they've run up, and they've been running for months now in anticipation of the Biden presidency. Now that he's been elected, they're likely to do for a major pullback. But we still have lots of upside in the cannabis sector. So it's an early cycle breakout, which is the best time. It's the most choice time is when you have evidence of sustainable buying in a given industry sector that for a variety of reasons continues to have lots of upside. And we're early, which is great. So if you join trademastery.com, my chat room, I teach you what to look for, both swing and day trades. But now back to our regularly scheduled presentation. Chronos looks good. Similar pattern. Red candle pullback there, so we're not excited about it yet. But if it breaks the nearest whole number. How many, let me ask a quick question. Wow, big turnout. Wow, huge turnout today. Thanks all of you for being here from around the world. How many of you look for candlestick breakout patterns? Or how many of you, yes, the question is, how many of you know how to recognize breakouts without getting stopped out on a false breakout? Because that seems to be the #1 challenge traders have in breakout trading is, like Mike was saying earlier, is that, hey, Mike, from here in town up the road, you get into a trade and then it pulls back, like let's say you buy here and you get stopped out, dope, and then it runs without you. That's very frustrating. It's the #1 common issue in trading, in training thousands of active traders over the last 2 decades. False breakouts and how to avoid them is a big challenge. The way that I do that is I look for breakouts above whole numbers, and I use very specific criteria that I've developed over the years to potentially avoid false breakouts. So I never buy right under a whole number, for example, like a 0.9. I'm not going to buy under a whole number. Neither am I going to buy right above the whole number, like say 12.1. That's probably going to be a false breakout. I'll wait till it gets up to 12.20, 12.30, at least 20 cents above a whole number for these cheap instruments. So that's or rider downers. So remember that one. That's a good one. I've tested that with thousands of real money trades, so I know how to do this. And then Chronos looks good. Canopy growth, a little pricey, but lots of upside. But from a leverage standpoint, this is inferior to say ACB or some of the others, because you got to pay up 35 bucks a share and it just doubled, or not even, well, just not even quite, it hasn't even doubled. Now, if you're an investor or a long-term active trader, Canopy growth is a blue chip, and I highly recommend, well, I can't recommend it, but personally, I think it would, for myself, it'd be a really good instrument to trade. But for active traders, you want things that have more volatility and stronger momentum, all right? So I prefer things that are down under 20 bucks a share. This one, like APHA, that one has a exceptional good breakout. And notice, please, how it stalled right under the 14 whole number resistance. I always use whole numbers. I've taught traders how to trade off the whole number price action plays for decades. I know how it works, and hopefully you can do well once you join chat. Anyway, this is an example of the small followed by larger whole row body green candle. Small candle, larger candle, on increasing volume, the delta runs up, and you can see we ran from 10 to 13, just under 14. Definitely worth a shot after this little red pullback candle up at new highs. And last but not least, Aurora Cannabis, a nice local company here in Colorado, where cannabis has been legal for 7 years now, I believe, and we are a $6 billion, or it is a $6 billion industry here. Okay, now let's look at some intraday charts. But first, let's just do a quick recap on some of the swing charts here. TAN has been strong. These one-year charts have been really strong lately, but they're overdue for a pullback. So I'm not going to spend too much time on them, but just to follow up with the picks I'd given you guys for the last couple of months here, our solar TAN looks good. But does everybody see why I traded this and I sold mine right just over the 100. So I didn't catch the last fluffy breakout, the froth up at the top. But can everyone see why this might be a good sell signal in TAN? We have a small followed by a large red candle on the down tick on increasing volume. So it's been good while it lasted. How about old FCX? I've been calling this one long, both in chat and here for months, and you can see it did a really nice run from 9 to 32. So did a spectacular run, but that congestion, the consolidation at the top means its time is done. At least unless it gets back over 33, but I'd stick a fork in it if it gets under 30, right? That is FCX. I think Tesla is the mother of all shorts under 800. They often say the trading graveyard is littered with the bones of would-be Tesla shorts, and I have not ever recommended or never suggested a short in Tesla. I've been calling it long on the way up, but now, not a recommendation, but a technical chart pattern to learn from. If Tesla gets under 800, watch out below. It's not an official short call, but if I were to make an official short call, it would be to short the heck out of Tesla if it loses on 800 for at least 3 days in a row. When 3 red candle days in a row under 800, and Tesla is the mother of all shorts. Remember I said that in a couple of weeks. You'll be, oh yeah, he was right. I'm a good shot caller, I know this stuff. How about old Apple? Not blowing my hair back. How about Plug? A recent really good momentum runner. That thing is way too dangerous, right? This would be a really stupid instrument to swing trade because the volatility is too large. It was fine on the way up until it got to just over 30, and at that point, I ceased covering it for swing trades because the gaps can go either way. And as a trader, you know, one of the challenges is so many hundreds of you have told me over the years, one of the biggest challenges that you face as an active trader is consistency. And you cannot get consistent with inconsistent charts that have major gaps or the under $10 low flow pump and dump charts that are very risky and dangerous. It's much smarter to, in my humble opinion, to trade instruments that are emerging breakouts that have some consistent story of buying, you know, day after day, week after week on the uptick. So one of the easiest ways, one of the smartest, most intelligent, Wall Street ways. You talk to any street trader, any market maker or prop trader specialist, they'll always tell you traders vote with volume. That's what I've said for years. Now they say that too. Traders vote 2 V's, they vote with volume. So to confirm an entry, make sure it's in a sequence of 3 days or more of increasing price action and increasing volume, because what you often see is a steady move up like that, and then and you get in on the trade, and then it blows up to the new highs with you in the trade, right? And then it's the first sign of a rollover, you tighten up a trailing stop and go to cash, like I've been doing successfully with TLRY. I'm eager to trade this up at new highs. I wish it was still down at 10 a share like it was a couple weeks back, but hey, now it's a $20 instrument. We'll see if it gets to be a $30 or $40 instrument. Hey, Srinith. Yeah, good point from Peter. You're exactly right. He says when they go vertical, run like heck. And that's true. When something has a 90-degree breakout, that's the weakest breakout signal. The strongest breakout signal is a 45-degree angle breakout, right? Where it's a steady uptrend grinding up to new highs. Verticals are really dangerous. Verticals, something that runs straight up, whether it's a day trade or a swing trade, will almost always frequently do a 50% retracement or crash and burn back to half the trading range. That's particularly true of the cheap under $10 instruments, which is why they are not smart things to trade, in my humble opinion. Unless it's something like this, and some of the pot stocks have really done well. Let's take a quick look at some day trading charts here. We got a few minutes left. I know I covered mostly swing trading. Let me pull this over and zoom in. Is that helpful so far? Just my honest thoughts on swing trading the cannabis stocks. You want to focus on price action and volume and volatility up over whole numbers and develop a plan of attack. Or, I often, when I swing trade, I always start with under $500 of the underlying. So maybe 20 shares of this. I'm not going to have a Lamborghini and a Maserati overnight and have a tropical island. I'm not going to make a fortune trading 20 shares at a time, but you always start off defensive, kind of like in martial arts. Before you do offense, you learn defense. Or in football, you focus a lot on defense before you do offense. So you scale in or martingale in. I double down. So I may start off with just 20 shares of this. And if it runs over 25, I double down, I add another 20 shares. And it goes over 27, I add another 40 shares. So I'm martingaling up, or reverse martingaling, I guess, and doubling down on the trade if and when it proves me right. And for all the times where it does pullbacks and misbehaves, I take really itty bitty tiny stop losses. That's the key to success in trading, is limit your losses substantially. Make sure that when a trade bites you in the rear, it's not an expensive proposition. Anyone else? Just not a pot stock, but 3D has been one I've covered. This is the kind of chart that I've covered successfully in the chat room since last Thursday. I think we covered it Thursday. It was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 3D has had a huge run up. This is a perfect chart for day trading. It ran from 23 to 32. A near 10-point run on Thursday, the previous day. Yesterday, Friday, chip chop didn't go anywhere. One that did go was INO. One of my smart members at my Trade Mastery live room mentioned this one on the way up. I called it short at 1040. Boom, that was a good call, if I do say so myself. This thing was running up, and I said, hey, I would be looking to short it. Once it was up at 1052 or something, I said, I'd be looking for a short if it lost 10.4. And this did a parabolic arc. It ran all the way from 9 up to over 10, and then it was a nice short on the reverse side and flipped all the way back down to 960. So that was a pretty brilliant short call. Anyway, these are the kind of instruments that I like to cover in my live chat room because they've got volume, they've got volatility, and they've also potentially got a lot more consistency than the $2 and $3 low float, whack-a-mole type charts that are out there. I prefer charts with consistency. This is a good setup, kind of a stair-stepping uptrend for a potential swing trade because it's been in a steady uptrend over 2 days. So it was okay for a day trade. It ran from 8 to 9. And this illustrates my whole number strategy. This is a perfect setup for us. Remember, I'm the king of whole numbers. That's what I do. You may have seen my popular technical analysis of stocks and commodities articles. I covered Twitter, was the example I used in that article. I think it was a year or two ago. Anyway, the strategy is you buy a 2-day high right over a whole number. This is for you day traders out there. Us adrenaline junkies, right? I'll go in 20 cents or so above the whole number. Say you buy 820 and it runs up to just under the 9 and you sell it. And I always squawk out the exits saying, if I was long, I'd be selling it right now. Sell, sell, sell at around 880, 890. So trading within the whole numbers is a really good region within which to trade, whether you're trading the cannabis stocks or anything else like this BNGO yesterday. You go in long above a whole number, you let it go up, grind up slowly higher, and when it gets to the 0.9, just under the nearest whole number, that's an exit, right? Or at least tighten up a trailing stop. Okay, that's a smart strategy. So, wow, all these questions. Hey, Peter, SRNE. That would be a good one to ask me in chat. So if you're a chat room member, I'm not going to answer charts of people's choice anymore, unless you're a chat room member, and I'll answer those in chat. So I certainly look forward to working with you guys. So let's bring this puppy to a close. We got really good charts in our cannabis sector. You guys have been great. We have a really big turnout. So let's see. Let me get this over here for you. How many of you have had an opportunity to check out the new website? If you have not yet looked at it, we're updating it daily, and it looks much better than it ever did before. So that's at trademastery.com/live. And we've got a 2-week trial at just $29. No more $7 trials. Those are gone forever. And I'm going to be raising the rate on the room at some point this quarter, but for now, you can grandfather in at the current rate. It's just $197 for the month. And stick around if you want. We have so many new members that I inherit from other places because people like intelligent, smart, well thought out entries called ahead of time and not reactionary. Hey, I'm locking in 5,000 shares. Yeah, right. What I like to do is give people specifics and step-by-step and Q&A too, right? I limit the membership in the room to just 250 people. So sometimes we have it on wait status and all that if we're at capacity, but so you have much more time for personal Q&A with me. So you can ask about charts of your choice, like the trader Peter just asked about one. We'll pull it up as a team, and frequently I have so many smart members, their picks are often as good or better than mine. So it's great to have so many smart traders from around the world in the live room. So do good, try at trademastery.com/live, and I wanted to wish you all the best for a successful trading year ahead. By the way, I'm turning 57 on Tuesday, so I'm getting old. Yay, go Ken, it's your birthday. Anyway, I'm almost 60. I'll be amazing how time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. And I love trading, and I'd love to help you guys hopefully sharpen your trading skills with very intelligent step-by-step strategies that give you not only which charts to look at, but exactly how to enter and how to exit with my walkthroughs. My walkthroughs are really popular because I tell people ahead of time where either I often trade live too. So if I'm trading something live, I tell my traders where I'm going to trade it, and once I'm in the position, how to manage the exit, and for swing trades too. So we have much expanded coverage in swing trading as well. So I do a lot of swing. When the market gets kind of quiet, we've had some quiet days lately, right? Some narrow range days in the S&P the last week or two. So at 10:30 or 11, if the market's getting kind of slow, we flip over to swing trading charts. And we do a lot of lively Q&A with my members there as well. So, well, friends, we're just about out of time. We're at about 12:30, so I'm going to wrap. Are there any questions about the chat room? Let me know, because we've expanded the coverage significantly. It's better than ever, right? So many new members. I inherit all these. I'm at record high new subscribers over the last 2 years. I'm at a 2-year high in terms of subscriber growth because people are valuing what I have to share. So I appreciate all of you for being here. I wanted to wish you the best. Remember, markets are closed on Monday in observance of Martin Luther King's birthday. They're not closed on my birthday on the Tuesday, the 19th, but markets are closed on Monday. So remember, you can sleep in on Monday. It won't be too exciting to try and trade on Monday because the markets are closed, but Tuesday we will go at it. So give it some thought and join up over the weekend. And I'd love to see you there at trademastery.com. Best wishes for success in your trades. Oh, thanks. Hey, you too. Hey, thanks, Damon, man. Have a great birthday. How do you think inauguration affects the markets? It just confirms sector relative strength in things like electric vehicles, solar, and cannabis. That's the, I have no idea what's going to happen in terms of all the drama and the unfortunate riots and all that kind of stuff. I have no idea what's going to happen at the inauguration. Hopefully it goes smoothly. They've got enough security there. But having a new president in place that is favorable for green industries like electric vehicles, solar, and cannabis, along with all the huge tax increases we're unfortunately going to get. I'm not going to get political. I'm just about trading. I mean, price action trading, trying to make money, trying to help my traders do the same. So I still think the cannabis sector is an outstanding opportunity, as evidenced by the doubling of the stock prices the last 2 weeks, right? And I've been trading them successfully, so I'm happy about that. And I hope I can help you folks do the same. All right, we're going to wrap. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. You guys have been great. And we're going to end on time. I'm going to start on time and end on time. So take care, and I hope to see you next Saturday as well, and Tuesday in the chat room. So hop on over to trademastery.com, and I'll see you there. Bye for now.